Hello. I'm here under bamboo next to a little Buddha. Maybe I can just rest the phone there. We'll see if it happens to work. It's worth a try. It might work. Yeah, that should be okay. I might go out of view, but you can hear me. I trust. I'm looking up at the little fragments of sky between the dense bamboo. And I was just about to run to the transfer station, also known as the landfill. Site, I suppose. Transfer, if you're not from this part of the world, or the country maybe, a transfer station is, where they collect your stuff and bring it to the landfill, which is also formerly known as a dump. And I'm laying here next to an old farmer's dump that I discovered when I was digging a footing for a library. And of course back then they would just pile their trash out at the edge of the property somewhere and then maybe bury it later. So kind of in that mode of thinking about trash, and I thought we'd do a little meditation. So I think this meditation could be done walking or moving, laying down, sitting, standing. I happen to be laying down. I don't know if I'll stay that way. And just checking, see if the phone is still there. You can hear. Thinking of the exhalation as the trip to the landfill, the transfer station, the dump, the farmer's pile. So what I want to just do is kind of get into a simple state of breathing where I'm not really working on it, it's just happening. Probably relatively slow and easy, but as long as it's repeatable, I think any sort of breathing you're doing, if you can spare a little bit of extra consciousness for the meditation portion, I think any breathing will be fine. Once I get into that sort of breathing state, we're going to shift our focus to the exhalation. And so as you start your breathing, I'll just tell you a couple stories about that, I think. And meanwhile, enjoy this view of the bamboo. I'm going to see if I can change this so perhaps you guys can get a little view of the bamboo. And oh, we actually have a little. Hey, Saki, it's meditation time. Yeah, you want to join us? We'll do a little Buddha and meditation. We'll see how that might work. Don't exactly know, but we could certainly see what we get. I'm still fiddling with the phone, so sorry for the volume hassles. Hopefully that's a little bit of a view. Yeah, hi. Here we go. You might have heard Saki chirp. He was kind of waiting to have a chance to hop aboard. Hey, buddy. Yeah, you could do the meditation with us. Come on. Yeah. He wants me to turn over so he can get on my back, so here you go, buddy. And sorry for all the rattles that I'm guessing that you're hearing. as I move the phone around. One day maybe I'll try a tripod. Hey, buddy. So, a couple stories. As you're breathing, even breathing, once you develop that even breathing, then we're going to shift our attention to the exhalation. Sort of the emphasis will be the exhalations. So the first little story about trash exhalations, recycling is, I was reading this article in a science magazine, and it was about, some telescope or other, and some that saw the world in some radio wave or another. So they're up on a high mountain and, kind of far from civilization. And the first sentence, as I remember it, of the article was, there is no away. There is no away. You might be able to hear that woodpecker. Just now started in somewhere nearby. Toot, 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 toot. So, what the article began to talk about was this scientist, gone up to the, above, let's say 2/3 of the Earth's atmosphere on the west coast of the U.S., where the prevailing winds move from west to east. And so really they have many thousands of miles of Pacific Ocean that the air has passed or arrived from. And the scientist was testing the air, and particularly in terms of pollutants. And of course, the science proved out how many pollutants were, or particulates as well, were present in the air, after crossing this ocean desert of thousands of miles, where they could track things to Siberia and China and India and Bangalore and Bangladesh and, New Zealand, I suppose. I don't remember exactly, but Russia, Asia, what have you. And the whole first paragraph or so of the article was, there's no away. We think there's a way. We throw things away all the time. But he says, you're away. There's somebody else's, here it comes. And that somebody else may be isolated in time or distance or both. So they may not immediately say, here it is. But when I dug up and found the old farmer's trash from however many decades ago, or dozens of decades, I don't know. They felt that they had thrown it away, I'm sure, and for me it was like, oh, here something is. Even though it was quite removed in time and the person that buried it may long since have died, it never did go away. Out of view, out of mind, out of memory, but not away. And so when we exhale, can we be aware of this? My act is to expel the air, or my act is to witness how the body expels the air. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Oh, we got a little visitor hopping aboard for our meditation here. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, he's crawling up my thigh onto my lower back. Good to see you, buddy. I'll give you a different view here. There's the library in the background. So, even though my action is to exhale, and it leaves me, it leaves my now, it leaves my awareness, it hasn't actually left existence, it hasn't left the earth. So it's an interesting thing to be aware of. Even though my action is away, I can't create an away. It is away from my body in this moment, for this moment. That's my intention. It leaves this space. But it doesn't actually achieve away. So maybe contemplate, ruminate on that as you're breathing. A little bit more focus on the exhalation than the inhalation, although they're sort of physiologically equivalent. The same manner and rhythm and volume and tone and time. The difference is your focus on the exhalation. So story number 2. It could have been the same magazine, but another science magazine, another time. I read something where the start of the article was somebody, describing just scooping some water out of the ocean, just sort of a random ladle full of a random ocean at a random time, And, sort of the math of it. You might see Saki come awake here as this car starts to drive by shortly. Yeah, that's Kate. She took care of Dolly. She's heading home. Yeah. And so there's a scoop of ocean. And then I described the math. This would be helpful if I looked the article up and looked at the numbers before the meditation, but I didn't know I was going to do this meditation until I started walking over here. But the math was something like, there's 4 trillion atoms or molecules or particles to this water. And it's just this humble teaspoon or cup or whatever. There's however many trillion. And then they continue the math to point out that there are however many trillion such cupfuls of water available in the oceans, all the world's oceans, or all the water on Earth perhaps. I don't know if it's fresh water or what. I recall it as salt water. Hey Saki, thank you. That feels good. And they showed the math that given the number of particles or discrete units or atoms, for example, in the teaspoon or tablespoon, and this is pretty mind-blowing, but they said it's impossible to take any following scoops of water, after you've returned that one, at any point in time, at any place, without getting at least one fraction of the original scoop. So the way I remember it is like a tablespoon, but that there are so many, let's say, atoms within that tablespoon, that there are more atoms in the tablespoon than there would be tablespoons in all the world's oceans. So that if you return that tablespoon and then later at any place or time, of course I think mathematically or statistically it's assuming it gets mixed, you can't ever take a drop of water, a scoop of water, a ladle of water, and not have some part in that measure that you haven't held before in another measure. So to me that really fits with that idea of there's no away. If you take a second scoop of water, it's never entirely unknown to you. It's been in your presence, some part of it. Which means there's no throwing things away, there's only recycling. There's no away, there's only return. There's the intention of away, but there's no result of entirely away. There's no pure awareness. Sort of patented back massage as we do this. Thanks, Saki. That feels very good. I'll give you guys a little more bamboo here. So, as we continue to breathe, our focus unevenly on the exhalation, while the inhalation and exhalation remain in harmony and a balanced evenness. Our awareness, our focus is on the exhalation. And the particularities of that focus are that even though I send the breath away, or I watch the body send the breath away, the next inhalation necessarily carries at least some fraction of what I believe had left back to me. So there's no breath but the first that is entirely novel, entirely new, entirely unknown or unknowable to you. So let's just continue to breathe together. In through the nose, feel the breath, welcomed home, humidified, cleansed, drawn into the mind, triggering memories, triggering a sense of presence in the now body. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, focusing on that exhalation. The breath can never truly go away, although we can set ourselves to that task. And in that knowledge, we know that we can recognize at least some element of every in-breath. So I'll just give you a bamboo view. And we'll just breathe a little bit more together. Inhale. Yeah, I know. Exhale. Inhale. 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 Exhale. And you can send the breath away. Watch your body send the breath away. But the awareness is truly a circle, an arc, and truly the start of a path back to you. A karmic breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So, thanks from me and Taki and Buddha. Thank you.